Still not giving up, with reports today that they're plotting to deny Donald Trump the nomination at the convention. The Washington Post says veteran operatives will be on site, educating delegates on how they can be free agents. And there's more talk of changing convention rules. Gina Loudon is back with me. Also here with me on set, Evan Siegfried from Som Consulting. Evan is a never-Trumper, has been all along. I mean, here you are as a Republican, and you've got an opportunity, Evan, to beat Hillary Clinton, but you don't want to take it.
I would have loved to have taken it had we nominated a conservative. Donald Trump has not shown himself to be a conservative. When it comes to abortion, he showed 4 positions that were each different in about 36 hours. When it comes to social
Hillary
security,
Clinton's been guilty of the same thing, maybe not on the abortion issue, but, you know, guns and a few other things.
Donald Trump can't even explain what he stands for. He just says we're going to win again. How are we going to win? I'm going to make great deals. And what specificity is he giving us? That maybe the wall's
so you don't
gonna be 40
like him.
feet
You
tall?
believe he's not a conservative, but the people have spoken, Evan.
You mean a plurality of Republican voters?
Republican voters have said, this is who I want. So
less than 40% of Republican voters have voted for Donald Trump. In fact, Donald Trump talks about how he got the most votes in history. Not only did he get the most votes against him in history, he got the lowest percentage of any modern-day Republican nominee.
Come on. You had 16 people out there in the field initially, Gina. Everybody's margins were smaller as a result of that. The reality is he got the most votes.
He did. And what our friend here, Evan, doesn't seem to understand is that every single word he says is a vote in Hillary's block. There's one thing about a kamikaze pilot, and that's the pilot dies. And so you really try, they may do some collateral damage to whoever their enemy is, but they're going down. This is not a smart tactic. And I think Reince Priebus, and Trish, I'm not usually on your show defending Reince Priebus or the GOP establishment, but I will say in this particular instance, when he called their plight a suicide mission, it was absolutely spot on.
He doesn't consider it a suicide mission. I don't want to speak for you, but you actually
do nothing else.
You would rather see Hillary Clinton in office than Donald Trump. Is that right? Is that fair to say?
As opposed to Donald Trump lacks the judgment and temperament to be president.
So who would you vote for then? Well, who will you vote for if you're faced with
I'm hoping that there will be a viable third-party candidate that I can get behind.
So you're part of this
But getting to what Gina's saying about the suicide mission, it's a suicide mission for Republicans to openly embrace and promote a man who has basically destroyed us with Hispanics, Asians, every community we need. And we're trying to grow the party because, let's face it, we face a math problem in the next 10 to 20 years. Heck, in the next 2 years, it's going to be there. We've relied too long on rural I'm sorry, Gina, but we've relied too long on rural voters and
there's apparently more than anyone really thought. I mean, Gina, 10 million more people coming out. Some of those rural voters that Evan's talking about that are saying, this is my guy. They feel as though the party, the establishment has failed them for the last 8+ years. They've got a pretty sad economic state in life. We've talked about that. You know the numbers. And they're saying, okay, maybe we'll just try something different. If Evan is so unwilling to buy into what the voters are saying, what does that do to Donald Trump's ability to compete in this election cycle?
I honestly think that Donald Trump is the candidate that the party's been asking for forever, where they say, hey, can we expand the tent a little bit? And I think if Evan wants to toe the line for Hillary, then he should just call himself a Democrat and vote for Hillary, and that's fine. But to call himself a conservative and be against the party's nominee is totally destructive and will backfire. There's no way. I let you finish. I let you finish, Evan. Please let me finish.
But don't tell me I should stand for Hillary Clinton.
I live in a Hispanic. Just Gina, finish up there.
Thanks. I live in a Hispanic neighborhood that is mostly legal immigrants, and I can tell you they are voting in droves. Trish, I've never seen anything like it. They have never been Republican voters. Many of them have never
voting for
voted
Donald
before
Trump
at all
Hispanic
because
immigrants.
They haven't cared as much about politics. But when they see the damage that is coming across our borders right here in San Diego, they are full on board for Donald Trump. I have never seen anything like this, and I can tell you he is going to bring non-traditional voters and people like Evan who want to take the other side and want to be destructive for reasons I just cannot understand.
It's an interesting.
They're going to be singing their own song. They're going to be singing all alone at the end of the day.
Observation, and I believe later this week we're actually going to get some poll numbers that will give us more clarity in terms of where Hispanics are standing on the Trump versus Hillary election table. But Evan, what's your path to derailing him at the convention?
I'm not involved in any plan to derail him at the convention. I'm just highlighting all his deficiencies. To claim that we're trying to derail him is complete fallacy. We're pointing out that this is an incredibly flawed man who has no real core belief system other than to praise himself.
And you want a third-party candidate?
I want a third-party candidate that will excite the base.
Who's top of your list?
Oh, I would love Senator Ben Sasse, to be honest with you. I think he is the conservative we need, but he said he's not going to run. But
second pick?
Second pick, Tom Coburn.
What about Mitt Romney?
Mitt Romney's great. He knows how to do it on the national level, but I don't think he excites the base as much, to be honest with you.
I would agree. Thank you very much. Evan, good to see you. Gina, good to see you. Coming up,
you too,
everyone.
Trish, thank you.